She is the last of his bloodline.
No, Dr. Loomis. She's not the last. Oh, God. There's a family, relatives of the people who adopted Laurie, Strodes. They're living in the Myers house.
Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers is a 1995 horror film sequel that continues the storyline of Michael Myers and would be the final time Donald Pleasence starred as Dr. Sam Loomis. 6 years after the events of Halloween 5, it is October 31st, 1995. Michael Myers and his niece, Jamie Lloyd, played by J.C. Brandy, have been abducted and held captive by a mysterious man in black and a druid-like cult. 15-year-old Jamie gives birth to a baby boy and escapes in a pickup truck, followed closely behind by Michael Myers.
Hey! What are you doing to my truck? What the hell are you doing to my truck? What?
Meanwhile, a now retired Dr. Sam Loomis, played by Donald Pleasence, is visited by his friend Dr. Terrence Wynn, played by Mitchell Ryan, the chief administrator of Smith's Grove Sanitarium, where Michael had been incarcerated as a boy.
You look good, Sam.
I feel great. I had surgery, plastic surgery, skin grafts. It cost a fortune, but at least I don't frighten people anymore.
Well, don't tell me that the revered Rasputin of Smith's Grove has grown complacent in his old age, and I won't believe that for a second.
Listening to talk radio, they overhear Jamie's voice, pleading for Dr. Loomis to help her.
Sam, I want you to come back to Smith's Grove.
You should know that it's not wise to play Halloween pranks on me.
It's no prank. You're the one I've chosen, Sam. I want you to come back.
After my stroke 6 years ago, they practically had to hold a pistol to my head to get me to retire. But things are different now. I'm different. I've buried the ghosts. I buried them in this manuscript. I don't want to practice medicine anymore.
They're coming. Dr. Loomis, are you out
They're
there?
coming. Don't tell me. Your name is Joan. Joan of Arc, and you're also hearing voices, right? Now, who's coming?
Michael Myers. Look, anyone, help me. Dr. Loomis, are you out there? Can you hear me, Dr. Loomis? I need your help.
Miles away in Haddonfield, Illinois, Tommy Doyle, played by Paul Rudd, is obsessed with Michael Myers after having been babysat by Laurie Strode on Halloween night 1978, the night Michael Myers attacked her. Listening to the radio show, Tommy deciphers the bus station location where Jamie has called from. Michael Myers catches up with Jamie and kills her, but not before she hides her baby. The following morning, Halloween, the old Myers house is now owned by the relatives of Laurie Strode's family. Laurie Strode's Uncle John, played by Bradford English.
This Michael Myers? Bullshit! You stinking kids got about 3 seconds to get the hell off my property. 1, 2...
And his wife Deborah Strode, played by Kim Darby. They live with their son Tim, played by Keith Bogart, and daughter Kara, played by Marianne Hagan. Kara is a single mother with a 6-year-old son named Danny, played by Devin Gardner. Halloween has been banned in Haddonfield since the events of 1989. Tommy locates Jamie's baby, naming him Stephen, and runs into Dr. Loomis, with both knowing that Michael Myers is out there somewhere and probably headed to Haddonfield.
Dr. Loomis?
Yeah.
Dr. Loomis. Thank God you're here. You heard her last night, didn't you? It was Jamie.
I'm sorry. I don't know you, do I?
And Tommy. Tommy Doyle. Laurie Strode, Jamie's mother, was babysitting me the night when...
Tommy Doyle. What are you doing here?
Please. I need to know the truth. Michael Myers has come home, hasn't he?
Loomis speaks to Deborah Strode, telling her about Michael's evil.
This force, this thing that lived inside of him came from a source too violent, too deadly for you to imagine. It grew inside him, contaminating his soul. It was pure evil.
What makes you think he'll come back here?
This house is sacred to him. He has all his memories here. His rage. Mrs. Strode, I beg of you, don't let your family suffer the same fate that Laurie and her daughter suffered.
Deborah then lambasts her husband for not being honest about the reason why they live in the Myers house.
The reason you moved us into this house. Your brother could never sell it because of what happened here, could he? And you knew. And you didn't tell us, John. You knew.
God damn it.
Tommy finds Kara and her son Danny and tells them that he believes Michael is under the influence of the Curse of Thorn. The Curse of Thorn is an ancient druid curse that drives a person to kill their family on Halloween, and that the baby Stephen will be his final sacrifice. As Michael begins killing throughout Halloween night in Haddonfield, it is up to Tommy Doyle, Kara Strode, and Dr. Loomis to try and stop Michael's murderous rage. The original title of this movie was Halloween 666, The Origin of Michael Myers. There are even existing ad prints and early trailers with that title. Later it became Halloween 6, and finally Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. Writer Daniel Ferrens had to write a screenplay that would help the series after the unsuccessful Halloween 5 in 1989. He had to come up with an explanation for the mysterious Man in Black character seen in the fifth film, and he decided to come up with a reason why Michael Myers tries to kill his family. They decided that the ancient Celtic Curse of Thorn, which was seen tattooed on Michael's wrist in Halloween 5, would explain why Michael Myers had almost superhuman power and had to eliminate his whole bloodline. They decided that Dr. Terrence Wynn, played by Robert Phelan in a very small role in the first Halloween film, and by actor Mitchell Ryan in this movie, would be the Man in Black. Basically, Dr. Wynn and a bunch of crazy cultish followers at the Smiths Grove Sanitarium kidnapped Michael and Jamie at the end of Halloween 5, impregnated her with his semen, and plan on the baby being his final sacrifice. I don't care for this plotline, but you gotta remember, this all came during the time of Waco and the Branch Davidians, and back in the early 1990s, cults were a big topic of discussion. This was the first Halloween movie that was actually filmed in the fall. The film was mostly shot in Salt Lake City, Utah, which was experiencing an early winter at the time, which proved troublesome for the production. It was filmed from October 1994 to January 1995. Danielle Harris wanted to reclaim her role as Jamie Lloyd. Danielle Harris stated in an interview that when her agent learned that the filmmakers were looking to cast an actress who was 18 or older, and she was 17 years old, she, at the suggestion of filmmakers, got herself legally emancipated from her parents. The studio offered her a scaled-back $1,000 to shoot the part over the course of a week, which was less than the amount of money she had paid for her emancipation. Danielle Harris turned them down.
I remember leaving thinking, oh, these people don't know Halloween. Like, this isn't, I don't get it. Wait, I'm confused. So I am pregnant with my uncle's baby? Like, I just didn't understand what had shifted. I thought, oh my God, this is not what I wanted to do. I don't want to die like this. At that point, I'm a teenager now, so I'm old enough to know sort of what's cool and what's not cool. I tried to make it happen, and then we had one more phone call, and I'll never forget, the woman on the other line said to me, your character is a scale character. You die in the first act. We're not giving you any more money. And I went, I guess I mean nothing to you then. Okay. I just wanted to put the money back in my bank that I spent to do the movie, which you guys are trying to replace me to begin with anyway. And I fought for it because I didn't want to have someone play Jamie. And okay, so I'm done. And that was really what had happened. And I met JC Brandy, who played Jamie, years later through mutual friends. And she was just like, the shit that I got for replacing you, people fucking hated me.
According to Marianne Hagan, she almost didn't receive the lead role of Kara Strode. Dimension Films apparently did not like her physical appearance, saying she was too thin and that her chin was way too pointy.
I said, what? They felt it was too pointy. So I basically continued the movie like this in every shot. Like, I became so self-conscious about my chin.
Howard Stern was originally offered the role as the radio shock jock Barry Sims, but he turned it down. Denise Richards was considered for the role of Beth, Tim Strode's girlfriend, but she turned down the role because she said it was all boobs. The part went to the perky actress, Mariah O'Brien.
Watch out for the boogeyman.
Dr. Loomis and Michael Myers share no scenes together in this film, making this the only movie in the Michael Myers series to feature both characters but never have them interact. This was Donald Pleasence's final Halloween film, and he passed away shortly after filming in February 1995, and this film is dedicated to his memory. This movie was actor Paul Rudd's film debut. It was filmed before Clueless, even though Clueless was released shortly before this movie. Stunt performer George P. Wilbur, who portrayed Michael Myers in the fourth film, reprised his role in this movie. This movie was released on September 29, 1995, and grossed a total of $15.1 million, making it a more successful box office film than Halloween 5 had been 6 years prior. For years after the theatrical release of this movie, there was a producer's cut that would float around the internet. eBay often sold bootleg VHS copies, which had very poor video and audio quality, rendering it nearly impossible to watch. I actually had my parents buy me one of these VHS copies on eBay in the year 2000. The footage managed to survive without being destroyed by having been produced illegally. On September 23, 2014, Shout Factory released the original producer's cut on Blu-ray with a restored picture from the original negative. It was finally given an individual release by Miramax Films in September 2015. This movie is actually pretty scary for a Halloween film. It has a much darker, more ominous, sinister mood than Halloween 5 did, and the actors from Donald Pleasence to Paul Rudd do a very convincing job. This movie is one of only 2 Michael Myers films released in the 1990s, and it is very 1990s. Known by many as Halloween 6, this movie wraps up the Jamie Lloyd storyline that began in Halloween 4. Halloween 4, 5, and 6 are usually considered their own little Michael Myers trilogy, and I recommend Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers.